Hey, here we go. Get comfy. How are we doing today? Everyone had a good day? A cat being sick. Hold on. Hey, we love it when cats are sick everywhere. Let's get this loopback send. Oh no, it's already set up. Cool. Let's see if that's working good. Oh, my son's down. Lol. Lovely. Let's get plugged in then. Some power. Do interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't capture plugin window. Ah, it's a bit of a problem. Going to have to tweak that then. Let's see. It's not ideal. Let's undo that. Give me just a second. I did not think that would happen. Hey. And a little better. Guess this is what this stream is for. Get things set up right before we actually start. Hey, how's it going? Just having a few problems getting the software to see the plugin window, not just Reaper. I just had to fix that. Looks like it's okay now though, so that's good. I know, right? It's a big change from Helix Native. I've used Helix Native a lot. I've had it for quite a while, and I've always loved the sound of it and like the sheer depth of what you can do with it. But I miss having like an actual like physical UI that feels like you have an amp and pedals and stuff in front of you, which is why I always dug the neural DSP stuff for that reason. But yeah, I think this is kind of the best of both worlds for me. I've got, you know, some of the stuff that I love about Helix Native, obviously without some of the flexibility of Helix Native, but you get that cool UI, you know? And like I especially love like the pedals and the post effects stuff, like actually having these pedals in front of me. Yeah, it is. It's everything is there. There's nothing like tucked away in submenus. Like everything you need is in front of you. Like even like the advanced stuff, like the focus filter and the noise gate, and it's even got the capo thing. It's a bummer that it only goes down 5 semitones, but if it went down an octave, that'd be better, because then you could possibly use it for fake bass, which would be really fun. Yeah, this stuff was interesting to me. Like I like the look of Amp Hub. But it didn't have enough of like the amps and pedals that I specifically liked, and I wasn't a fan of like the post effects. Like one of my favorite things about the Helix is like the delays, especially. Like that's one thing I'm stoked about with this Doom plugin. My favorite delay pedal from the Helix is this Adriatic delay, which is like a Bucket Brigade style delay with a few really cool mods. And it's in this now, so it's, you know, great. I think the thing I'm stoked about with this is this Sun Model T model, because that's not in the Helix. It might be in future, who knows. But you've got this, and then you've also got this Earthquaker Life Pedal sim, which I don't believe there are any other plugin versions of this pedal. Like I wasn't prepared to buy the raw thing. It's so expensive, like 600 quid. I was maybe going to look at getting a clone built, but I don't have to now because this thing sounds great, which we'll see soon. I'm going to set about writing some stuff with it, and we'll see how it sounds in a mix. But first I want to have a little fuck around and see if we can make some tones. I'm going to try, because I've never really messed with Line 6's caboyars before, because I always just turned the ones in the Helix off and used like GGD and Ownhammer stuff because they were just better. I didn't really like the UI of the cab sims in Helix, because I like to physically be able to see where the mic is in relation to the speaker and stuff. So being able to do that here is cool. I like how it kind of hides the grill cloth when you drag the mic. It's really cool. I think I'm going to play around with the rocker verb first because that's like an amp I'm familiar with. Just go like a classic like V30 and rocker verb combo to start with. And then we'll branch out from there in a bit. Ah, you can do distance too. I want these quite dark because that's kind of the sludgy post-metal vibe I'm going for. That's cool. Let's dial in like a second mic. We've got like we have got a 1-2-1. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I'm just curious how it sounds with external layers. So let's try that. Let's try, yeah, these Kali ones that I've explored before. This is a 57 and a 121 as well. Although actually the massive and the upfront cab are with a 421. I don't know if you have one of those in here. Oh, you do. It might be one of the newer ones, not the older version. Oh, that one sounds great with this amp. It's like a creamback from GGG Zilla, I believe, with like a not quite a Fredman mic setup, but as close as I could get. Interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to test everything with this IR just because it's one that I'm familiar with. And then we'll maybe go back and mess with some of the built-in ones after. That's really good. That's really good. I like too that they included the reverb that's on the amp too, so you've got like a little spring reverb here. Let's start. Gate threshold's too high. Bit more reverb. That's really fun. Um, let's just crank this thing. That's pretty neat. Let's dial it back. Hey, Jason 2242001. How's it going, man? Let's try the bright channel. Ooh, how long have I been playing guitar? Let's think. Gotta be 2008. So that's what, 14 years? Yeah, 14 years ish. I started when I was in school, about 2008 maybe. Yeah. I don't play like I've been playing 14 years, that's for sure. Play like I've been playing 2 years. Oh, that's nice. Um, just so you comment. Yeah, 27. Oh, cool. What do you play? Guitar or something different? Let's try jumps. Oh, trumpet. Cool. That's like a whole different world from what I'm used to. Do you play in like a band or something? Let's give some of these pedals a go. Let's try this thing. Let's put it on op amp, I think, because I know that'll sound good. My technique to find out what anything does is just turn it up to 10, see how it sounds. Yeah, I guess that's the problem with like brass instruments, especially like this. It's not like guitar where you can plug in, throw some headphones on, shut your door, and no one will hear you pretty much. If you're gonna play, it's gonna be loud. There's not really much you can do about it. Even with a mute, they're pretty loud. That sucks. So hopefully, one day soon you get somewhere to play again. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't in a situation to be able to play. It would drive me mad. Let's try out this octave. Well, now we're talking. Here we go. Oh, I've had to choose 5 bands. Oh, that's a tough one. Are we saying of all time or like right now? Because I think those are very different lists for me. Anyway. Either. Okay. Let's just go of all time then. I'm not going to put them in any order because that would make this impossible. Let's go textures first. Those guys are probably the biggest like inspiration for me musically, and they probably have my 2 most listened albums on Spotify. Like I've listened to Dualism and Silhouettes so many times. Unlike those two albums I got into and like into like my formative years, like musically, like in terms of like when I was learning to write music. So it massively inspired like the way my music comes out, and it always has really. Um, Second, probably say Coheed and Cambria. I got into those guys as a kid, and I still listen to them like almost every day now. They're one of the only bands from my childhood that I still listen to all the time. Um, Three, probably go Deftones. Would be a good choice. I love Deftones. Another band like from my childhood that I still listen to all the time. Four. It's where it gets tricky because it's like those three are like obvious picks, and the rest could be any of the bands that I really like. So I'm going to say number four will go Devin Townsend. Basically, not any of his specific projects, just him specifically as a musician. Oh, hey, Matt. How's it going, man? Um, Number five, I would say number five, probably Agent Fresco. They're a band from, I think they're from Denmark, but I think their singer's Icelandic. But they just have their most recent album that came out in 2015, Destria, just hits me so hard every time I listen to it. They've not got a huge back catalog, but like every time I listen to that album, I'm into floods of tears. It's just so good. Nice. Hey, thank you for the follow, Matt. Much appreciated. All right, hit me with them, Jason. And yeah, I agree with the Chino thing. It's like he used to be a much better vocalist technically, but I still think like the stuff he's doing now is like his range and some of like the things he used to do back in the day is maybe not doable now. Um, oh, is my sync a little bit off? It's because I'm using some stuff on my microphone. I'm still trying to get the sync just right. I think I do have low latency turned on. No, I do think I do have it on. Give me a moment. Oh no, I didn't. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. I think is like the modern, like here the style of his production, the vocals has changed a lot since like White Pony, for example. And I actually prefer the way his vocals sound nowadays. Like I get a lot of shit for this, but my favorite Deftones song is Entombed from Koi no Yokan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I just fucking love that song, and Chino's vocals especially are like soul crushing on that song. I love them. And part of it is down to like some of the way it's produced, and it sounds so different from any other band that I've ever heard, really. Nope. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think that's the thing I love about Deftones is there's a bit of something for everyone. Like the old school stuff really has that like really raw like 90s vibe to it that I love. And then they do the kind of modern, not like overproduced stuff. That's the thing. I think they hit the balance of like being raw enough to be like emotionally hard hitting, but still well produced enough that everything sounds great. You know, it's a really hard balance to get. Trust me, they do such a good job of it. Okay, I've never been a massive Bring Me to the Horizon fan. I think um, when they started to get really big, I was just in a different place musically. But Linkin Park, I used to fucking love Linkin Park when I was a kid. But I certainly don't hate Bring Me the Horizon. They have some great songs, and as a producer, like the production on their stuff, especially the modern stuff, is fucking brilliant. And like oftentimes when I mix that style of music, I'll go straight to them for a mix reference. Like I'll throw something from like one of their more recent albums on like Tidal or something, and it's a really good like bar to shoot for because it's just super well produced. And I know that I'm not going to get to that standard, but the more I try to get to that standard, the better my mix will be, you know? Okay. I mean, I've heard of some Japanese metal, but not a lot of it. But I do have some friends that listen to a lot of it. Let's try this magnitude. I think it's like a boost thing. Actually, I'm going to set everything to 6. The only one I've really like listened to a lot is Deer in Grey. Like, because I have a few friends that love them and they're always sending me stuff. And the guitar shop I used to work in had some ESP guitars that were like signature models from some Japanese metal bands. And I literally just went and looked up the bands that the guitarists are from just out of curiosity one day. I think that's the extent of my knowledge of Japanese metal. Oh, cool. So let's set everything to 6 just because metal, I guess. Oh, cool. That's quite a milestone. Into the mouth. Nice. Thanks for the follow, dude. Much appreciated. As it says in the title, this is like my first like proper stream. So, any support from anyone is greatly appreciated. set everything to 6. I have not heard of Gazette, actually. Hold on, let me look something up, because I vaguely recognize the name. I know that I've never listened to them, but I do vaguely recognize the name. Let me look those guys up. Gazette. Yeah, that's where I recognize them from. There's one of their guitars, one of their signature guitars, by ESP. This thing. The shop I used to work in had one of these in stock, and I looked the band up because I was curious about the guitar. So that's where I recognize them from. If you DM me them, if you message me them on here, I'll check them out after the stream. That way they won't get lost in the sea of chat. It's a little bit tricky to scroll back in chat sometimes. If you DM me them, I'll remember to check them out. Yeah, I really dig the octave. I think octave fuzzes are like my favorite kind of fuzz. Ooh. Sometimes this kind of like super over the top octave fuzz doesn't work at all, and you just have to like not use it. And especially if you're trying to combine it with other tones, it messes with like phase like mad. So if I use octave fuzz, I just use octave fuzz and that's it. But it is a cool sound and it works really well sometimes. Shit, I made a coffee and I completely forgot about it. This might be cold. Lukewarm, tolerable. So let's check out some of the other amps. We've checked out the Rockaverb. We've checked out the Model T. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but T. Hello, 10IC. Good to have you. How's it going? Reaper gang indeed. Been using Reaper so long. Nice. Thank you for the follow. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I've been using Reaper like, 10 years now? No, 11 years. Oh, cool. I'll check that out after the stream. That sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, let's check out some of the other amps. Turn that fuzz off. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you want to know, feel free to ask me. I'm going to be doing on Wednesday. I'm going to be streaming some guitar editing. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about stretch editing guitars in Reaper, I mean, it works on. You can use it on bass, keys, vocals. So, but I'm going to be editing some guitars. So if you want to learn like more of that side of things, make sure to tune in on Wednesday, same time. Yeah, so check out this Doom amp. I'm intrigued by this. It's giving me like high watt vibes, but I've not really heard it that much. So let's roll that master back a bit. Audio, yeah. I'm going to be editing some DI tracks for my album. Not on drums, but I mean like you can stretch edit drums, but like I don't think it sounds anywhere near as good as snip editing and things like that. It works much better on things that are like note based, that aren't percussive, I suppose. But it works in a pinch for drums if you really have to. But yeah, it works much better on guitars and bass and vocals and keys if you were dumb enough to not record a MIDI track for keys. 5 p.m. my time, GMT +1. Yeah, tonal content. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, 5 p.m. GMT +1. So whatever that is where you are. Till about 8ish. Yeah, I've got a fair bit of editing to do on my solo album that I'm working on, and I'll be honest, I do find it boring. So doing it on stream with you guys should be very fun. Much more fun than doing it by myself, that's for sure. Thank you. What do you mean by setup? Like my Reaper setup or like my this? Thank you. I spent this weekend and I think a bit of Friday setting up as well. I'm the kind of person that will not do anything unless it's absolutely perfect. And I will delay and delay until things are perfect. And I was so keen on starting streaming that I was like, well, to make it good, then don't I? I'm just a massive perfectionist, and that's why I never get anything done. But thank you, though. That's really appreciated. Good to know the effort paid off for at least one person. Yeah, I'm getting like big, like high watt mat amp kind of vibes from this thing. I'll try not to die. That would be very sad. But my girlfriend knows where it all is on my computer. So if I do die before I finish it, I have told her to just put whatever there is out there. I think I'll have to show her how to export from Reaper. And then once she knows that, we're good. If I do die, you'll still hear it. Don't worry. Even though I feel like I'm 65, I don't think I'll be dying anytime soon, hopefully. Touch wood. I'm already touching wood. What am I doing? Oh, hello. I can show you, honestly. Yeah, let's try and get like a nice clean tone out of this thing. Okay, let's try crank it and see how it sounds. It did go very off the rails. I kind of like that. It's a little bit scuffed sounding, but that's fine. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw on, where is it? Lunar Lander. Where are you? Yeah, okay, we'll do it this way. I want to mess with some delay with my favorite delay plugin. Where's my presets? Let's get a little bit less reverb. I'm always chasing sounds that are kind of a little bit, I don't know, like off the beaten path, I think is probably like the right term. A bit, not weird, but less heard. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Let's put that delay back on. Okay, it sounds really good with that delay. Just leave that bypassed in case you want to use it later. So, yeah, I dig that. Let's just slightly more gain. Okay, now let's try like a big muff style fuzz in front of it. This thing. So this is it's 1/3 of the Line 6 Metallurgy suite, I guess is what you'd call it. They released a line recently called Metallurgy, and it's like 3 plugins. There's like a Doom one, and there's a Modern and a Thrash one. So they're all about like metal amps, like 3 different distinct styles of metal. They each have 4 amps, a couple of pedals, and some post effects, and then the same cabs for each of them. Actually, they might be different cabs for each of them. It might be. I'll have to see. I haven't checked out the other 2 yet. We'll probably do that a little bit later. I was most interested in the Doom one because the other 2, they have a lot of amps that I've already used before in the Helix Native plugin. So I'm more stoked about this because it's got this amp and this pedal, which are brand new. That are 2 of my favorite amps and pedals. That specifically, they're very, very rare and or expensive. So I'll never be able to own them. So to have a good plugin version of it is like a dream come true for me, really. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed. My Reaper theme is, so I'm using Reaper 6, but the theme I'm using is one I downloaded. It's called Default 5 Dark Extended. If you go on the Reaper website where they have all like the theme community themes that you can download, it should be, you should be able to find it. If not, I can send you a link to it. Yeah, it's cool. It's basically, all it is essentially the default Reaper theme from 5, but it's like dark mode. Oh, Imperial is good. I used to use that. I found it a little bit distracting though. It wasn't like, I like clean, like crisp UIs, and all of the Imperial one looked cool. I wasn't getting stuff done as quickly, so I changed to this. Yeah, I used to try out loads of themes, and since I got this, I've just been like more productive. I don't know. I think it's just because it's clean and simple, and because it's basically the default theme but just dark mode. Yeah, I just find it easy to use, and that's all I care about these days. Oh, cool. I'll take a look at that. I might, because I run Reaper on my laptop, because I use my laptop to kind of simulate having like a hardware amp modeler sometimes. So I'll sometimes run my amp sims on my laptop so that they don't bog down my main computer, and then run my laptop out of another interface into my main interface and then into my computer. So it uses the laptop as like a, if I run Helix native on it, for example, it's literally just like having a Helix rack unit. It's pretty great setup to use. So I might look at using the Imperial theme on that, because I just run the plugins in Reaper on my laptop. Yeah, that might be interesting. But today I'm running them on here because I was an idiot at first. I was like, yes, if I run the plugins on my laptop, my computer will be able to handle streaming better. And then I was like, oh wait, but how the fuck am I going to show the plugin if it's on the laptop, you dumb idiot? Yeah, it sounds really complicated. In practice, it's literally just a couple extra cables. I'm going to be doing some YouTube videos as well soon, because I want to do some like tutorials and plugin reviews on YouTube for like more longer form, like focus content where I'm not waffling and rambling and talking to you guys. And I was thinking about doing a series that just kind of covers ways that you can like make your workflow for writing and mixing and stuff more efficient. And the laptop as a hardware modeler thing was something I was thinking of covering, because a lot of people have main PCs and then a laptop for like work or whatever. So no, I'm using the same PC to stream and do all this. I mean that I have a laptop that I just game on when I'm in bed sometimes, and sometimes I will run my amp sims on the laptop and then feed it into my main PC, so that if I want to run a bunch of different amp sims, it's not going to like bog my main PC down at all. I will think of a better way to explain it at some point. What were we doing? I completely forgot. I forgot. Let's check out this clean amp. It's got a tremolo. I'm just going to turn the tremolo off for now. Oh yeah, fuzz. Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have two computers, so that's nice. Yeah, your questions. Yeah, so I'm using a DI box at the moment. Let me see if I can show you it. I don't know if it will. There we go. If you can just about see that. I'm using my G48. The way I've got it set up is I'm running into the G48, straight into the input, and then it's going into channel 3 on my interface. And we're using phantom power, of course. And then I have another cable, the through output of it, set up that just runs over to that side of my desk. And when I use the laptop setup I was just talking about, I run the through cable into the input of the other interface. So that allows me to record a DI straight into my computer with the shortest signal chain between my guitar and the computer possible, but then run another cable to go to the laptop so that I can get an amp tone from my laptop. But I always capture a DI and an amp. So the way I've got things set up here is I'm running my plugin on the input effects of Reaper instead of on the inserts. So that if we were to click record, for example, if I demonstrate that now, it will capture my amp tone on this track and then my DI on this track. Yeah, basically. This is how I usually do things, but sometimes if I'm running a particularly heavy project with like loads of synths and all that kind of stuff, I will go and grab the laptop and do that just so that things don't get, because otherwise I find myself having to increase the buffer size and then I get latency and then it makes it hard to play and it's just a pain in the butt. So that's like kind of just a backup plan, having the laptop. But this basically, all this does is it just kind of, right, so how I track both in one go is I have this set up so that when I click record on either of these tracks, it will record on both tracks. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but it saves half the clicking, basically. And then it's been so long since I set this up that I'm going to have to figure out how to set it up again. Hold on. It's one of these. It's been so long since I've set this up because it's just on a template. It's on track manager. No, it's not, is it? It's genuinely been years since I set this up. There it is, track grouping parameters. So if you right click on the track, this is a little bit complicated to set up. So I will link you a video on how to do it in a bit. But essentially, the way you set these up is you have these different groups of tracks. So like this would be group 1, for example. What you do is you go on group 1. So like, let's actually just like make a new pair of tracks so I can show you how I would go about doing it. That would be the easiest thing to do. So if we say amp DI, and then we go right click on this, we go to track grouping parameters, and then we make it, like, you'll have these will all be called like group 1, group 2, group 3, etc. But I've renamed them just to make them easier to figure out. So I just go to the next available group, which is group 12. And what I would do is set the amp track to record arm lead and record arm follow, right? And then I go close that, go to the DI track, select the same group as the last one, then select record arm lead, record arm follow again. And now you'll see there's a little colored icon around the record arm button. So now if I click record arm on either of these tracks, it will record arm the other track. And then the other important thing to do, if you're doing the same thing where you put like your amp sim on the input effect, both will be set to whatever your DI input is. For me, it's line 3, but whatever your DI input is. And then you just record on both and you're away. The other thing to note is you'll want to turn the volume of your DI track all the way down. You can mute it, but I don't like that. I like to be able to see my DI track better so that I can keep an eye on the waveform and stuff. And then, yeah, that'll basically work. I also have these all in a group that bypasses my instrument group because I've got plugins on these that cause latency. So this goes straight to the master while I'm tracking so that I get as low latency as possible. And then I would like, for example, just drag this down onto here where I have groups of tracks set up for, like, that's one group, so that's a left amp, left DI, and a right amp, right DI, etc. for the other tracks. Yeah, you'll hear both if you have the DI on, and that would be distracting. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. If there's anything else that's confusing you, just let me know. But yeah, since I started doing this, writing stuff is so much quicker and easier because everything is there in front of you. I have like a basic template set up where it has these tracks set up, but not with any plugins on. And then it has these tracks set up. And then it has kind of like my buses, but not any drums in. And then a group for my bass and a group for my keys. And then I basically load that up, load whatever drum plugin I want to use, load whatever amp sim I want to use, and I'm away, basically. Like the amount of time between idea in head and idea in Reaper is much shorter now. So I'm thankful for that. I might consider actually posting this Reaper template with all of the routing pre-set up on my website or something. Like I'll throw it on Google Drive and then put a link to it on my website or something, so that people can download it, because it just saves a little bit of setup for people. And then if anyone doesn't understand it, you can just go into the template and see how it all works. One thing I do tend to do, this is personal preference. I put my amp sim on the input effect, but I keep my cab IR on the insert. So I actually record all of my stuff without the cabinet impulse. Yes, it would. Yeah. The free version of Reaper is completely functional. It's just you have to click the 5-second screen at the beginning every time you load it. It does everything the paid version does. I literally only bought the license because I'm now making money from using it, so I'm considered a small business, so I can't actually use the free version legally to do paid projects. But if you're just using it as a hobbyist or a band or whatever, you can get away with doing that, I suppose. But yeah, I use the cabinet impulse on the effects insert, and what I do for monitoring, I'll just put it on the amp track to hear it, and then I'll put one on each of the groups and run it in stereo. Indeed, that's like it has the lowest barrier of entry to any DAW that I've ever seen, really. Like, you literally just download it, install it, bam, you have everything that everyone else has, pretty much. And I used it for what, 8 years before I paid for it, which I think most people have done the same, really. But it's a wonder that they have any money to keep developing it. And the fact that a license was what? Well, it was like 35 quid for me. Even I was like, after 8 years of using it, I was like, it's the least I can do. Um, yeah, let's get back to it. Hang drum VSTs. Oh, I don't know of any. I do know that Omnisphere has some hang drum sounds. I use Omnisphere a lot, but Omnisphere is also very expensive. So I invested in it because it was worth the money for me, because it has so many good sounds. I'm pretty sure it does have hang drum sound. Let me find out. But it's yeah, I love hang drums. They're so beautiful. If you can't find one, you could always program the MIDI with something that sounds a bit like a hang drum. And then if I do have that's a good sounding on this bit, I could run it through it for you. It would probably be under Ethnic World, probably. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, there's loads of different versions too. There's like yeah, no, go ahead and post the link. I don't really tend to allow like self-promotion, but like, no, if you want to link, and obviously like spam links. Yeah, I don't tend to allow self-promotion unless it's specifically relevant to like what we're doing right now. But no, if you want to chuck a link to help someone out, go ahead. Oh, is that an ample sound thing? I have a few of their libraries. Yeah, it is. Oh, cool. I didn't realize that was free. I might have to grab that. That's cool. Yeah, I'm getting way off track here. Now I know Omnisphere has hang drum sounds, which is very useful for me. Yeah, I have one of their guitar libraries actually, the Hellraiser one, because I sometimes use programmed guitars as like sometimes as a writing tool, and I also use it for my solo like prog metal stuff. Instead of quad tracking my guitars, I double track them and then add a pair of quad track guitars blended in, like a pair of programmed guitars, sorry, blended in. And it makes things sound super awesome. It's a kind of unique sound that I really like. So I use the Hellraiser sometimes. And also, if I'm trying to write stuff that's like really low tuned and I don't want to tune my guitar right down. Hello, Yuka. I'm having a lot of fun actually. Lurkers are most welcome here. What was I even doing? Oh yeah, I was checking out this amp. That's nice. That's a bit kind of opathy. I like that. It's definitely got a Fender vibe to it. Okay, just because I'm curious, let's crank this thing. Yeah. I wonder if I can use the boost from this on its own. Oop, it's a fuzz. One thing I will say about this plugin, I guess maybe because it doesn't need to have one for the people it's targeted at, it doesn't really have like a good like tube screamery boost pedal. Which would be nice, but at the same time you get 3 awesome fuzz pedals, so balances out, I guess. I don't even know if I'm playing now, right? But whatever. That's a really tasty sound there. That's really nice. I'm genuinely blown away by how versatile this plugin is. I mean, it should go without saying, because some of these amps are really like versatile amps. But I want to try and do some like tight metal tones with the rock reverb. So let's throw a boost in front of it. What do I want to use for the boost? Actually, let's try the focus filter. I mean, you're never going to get like super tight tones with a rock reverb. That's just what it's like. But and then let's change the IR we're using to like a more modern one, like a V30. I mean, it's not as tight as some other tones that I have been using. I think it's tight for this amp. I think this amp, it's not like a chugger. It's like the huge open chords sound phenomenal for it. Also pairs really well with like split coils and single coils and stuff. It's a really fun tone. For sure. Yeah. It's really like juicy, I think is probably the right word. Yeah, as like a chorus, extra chorus layer. It's really good for like, you know, the octave kind of things that you would add into like a chorus usually. Really good for that. Because you don't even need to boost it. Like, and I find it works really well if you just like, I think one of my favorite ways to set this amp up is master on about 6-ish, gain cranked, bass cranked, use like a split coil or a single coil. If you were maybe like adding it as a layer, I'd roll the gain back a little bit, but I think it's just one of those amps that's like really fun to play because it's like it's not dry, I think is the right word. Like it's not one of those amps that you have to play super cleanly, and it kind of encourages you to just fucking go for it. I mean, any amp you should play cleanly, but like it's not one of those amps that will make you sound awful if you even mess up the slightest thing. I think then let's take a look at the other two plugins because that's pretty cool. I'm liking that. Let's look at the other two. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a new track down here. Put it on there. Should we go modern or thrash? Let's go with the thrash one. And does it have, oh no, it has different cabs. It has an Engel cab, an Uberschall cab, another Bogner cab, V30, two different V30 cabs, and like a Marshall 1960. Cool. But I always test amps with IRs that I'm familiar with because then I can kind of make a mental comparison to other things. So I'm going to use, let's actually do, one thing I love to do, I've got two IRs here that are very similar but slightly different. And I love to set up my cab loader in stereo and then pan one left, pan one right. It's basically the equivalent of running your amp into two cabs that are on kind of like slightly different sides of the room, basically. So it just sounds a little bit wider. It's more fun to play through. So this is like a Mark IV. That's fun. We've got a Diesel VH4 and a Friedman BE100. That's cool. The BE100 is one of my favorite amps in the Helix, but I've not really played it much with the Diesel. So let's have a go on this. Let's just try the default things. take the cap off. Let's go lower. That's pretty sick. I enjoy that. Oh, it's like a wire button. Okay, gotcha. So I had a little bit of a mess around with this amp model on the Helix, and it does not sound as good using the same cab as well. It does not sound as good on the Helix as it does here. This sounds a lot better. Which is strange because it's supposed to be the exact same amp model. So, yeah. But I'm fine with that. That's very nice. I've always loved the VH4. Such an interesting amp. Very quiet. Let's try something. That's really cool. I'm going to save that preset. Cool. I dig that. Sturdiness, Cabile. Try out some of the clean stuff. Jazz chorus. Where's my chat scrolling? What tuning am I in? I am in open A sharp tuning. So you know I don't know if you know about like the Devin Townsend tune, like the open C, open B thing, where it's all fifths until you get to the top string. So it's for like the Devin tuning, it would be C, G, C, G, C, and then E usually. But I'm doing that a whole step down. So it's A sharp, A sharp, F, A sharp, F, A sharp, and then C on the top. That's a nice clean tone. I dig it. I think the one thing I would have a complaint about on this is that 2 of the suites out of the 3 don't have a post reverb. Like some of the amps have like the built-in reverbs, but you don't have like a nice post reverb like before or after the delay, which is not a huge deal for me because I have a lot of great reverb plugins. But yeah, if you're wanting to use just this and nothing else, it might be a bit annoying. That being said, the one that does have the reverb is the one where you're most likely to want a reverb, the modern one. So Oh, here we go. You have a tendency to be really heavy on the pickup selector. Also, the wah has an auto wah. That's very interesting. Is there a way to see the side panel of this? Oh no, it's just... Nice. I've got my bend sensitivity set up for rhythm stuff at the moment, so... Interesting. I'm just scrolling through the presets and seeing if there's anything interesting. Okay, so let's just check out the modern one now as well. I'm going to check out the modern one, and I think I'm going to have a little break, and then we'll maybe try and write some stuff. So this one, we've actually got two of my favorite rhythm amps from the Helix. We've got the Badonk, which is really cool. I really enjoy it. It's a classic, absolute classic. I think this is the, in a way, this is the amp model that I've used for the longest time, because there used to be, this is basically a slightly improved version of the Big Bomb model from the old Pod XT. And I used to use the Pod XT Pro for a long time. I got one in like 2011, I think, and I used it for like 6 years, maybe. And that was like the only amp model I used on it, apart from like a few others. But mainly that one. And this is basically just a better version of it. But it's the same kind of thing. But it's super tight, and like the name speaks for itself. It has a ridiculous amount of low end, but if you dial it back, it gets like really tight. And then it's got the rev generator, which is just a ridiculously good amp. So I'm gonna mess around with this for a bit. Turn that cab IR on. It's pretty cool. Yeah, let's just see if there's anything interesting going on with the presets. Very nice. Oh, it's like a slight delay. Interesting. Cool. Very nice. These are the kind of amps where I'd rather like try them on like tightly tracked double track guitars, because with these like gainy amps, you never really get like a good feel for it unless you hear it with that. So I'll probably do a little bit of reamping at some point with these to see how they sound. Okie doke. I kind of, yeah, I maybe want to carry on working on this, but maybe like use the Doom plugin for the rest of it, because we had a little setup going in. Is this still working? It completely gotten rid of my preset. It's logged me out of Helix Native. Okay. I have to set that back up at some point. Yeah, I'd quite like to carry on with this thing, but maybe use the Doom plugin for the rest of it, because I was using Amplitude with this high watt setup before this Doom plugin came out. No worries, man. I'm just about to take a short break to maybe grab a drink and some food. And then I will be back. So I will catch you all in like 5 minutes. Okie doke. I am back. I have coffee and Greg's, so everything is right with the world. Okay. Can delete this track now. What's on here? Oh shit. Oh, okay. Let's see. That was the middle section. I don't know. I don't really have any riffs. I don't know. Okay. What's the plan? The plan, Stan. Okay, dude. Hope you have a great evening. It's been great having you. Oops. Where's this project that I'm looking for? I wonder if it's on this one. Yeah, see you Wednesday. A bit of lovely editing. I think this is the project I was looking for. Let's new hardware send, loop back. There we go. Yeah. Maybe we could record this with the Doom plugin. don't think I've done any of this. Those drums at some point. Maybe. I don't know what I want to work on. I don't really have any riffs or ideas or anything. Not right now. We could fuck about some synthwave stuff. I did start writing something the other day that we could carry on with, though. Should probably update the stream title, shouldn't I? We're doing this. Okay, there's some stuff with okay, let's just hide guitar group for now. And all these tracks, because we don't need them right now. Likewise, this. Oh, yeah. Doing all of those. There we go. Cool. Right. So yeah, there were some sounds in Analog Lab I wanted to play with. Yes, I do. I need my keyboard pulled up for this. that sound? So stupid. I don't know, I'm just not feeling inspired. Nothing's coming to me. What's this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was dialing in the tune with perfect jumps, wasn't I? Tell you what. We could just play some games for a bit. I'm not feeling it. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to call it there. Going to head off now. I'm just kind of completely out of riff ideas, so my plan to write some stuff today has not gone to plan. But that's fine, that's just how it is sometimes. I will be back on Wednesday for some guitar editing. We're going to be editing some guitars for my album. Same time, 5 p.m. UK time. Yeah, hope you've all had fun. I certainly have. Catch you next time, hopefully. Bye-bye.